Hey everyone, thank you for joining. And I will take your questions. We will take your questions as well. But I would want to focus most of our discussion on everything you guys are worried about and have been discussing in the chat. So we will ask Gray all the questions, all of those. And starting with, I want to ask her, Uranus in Gemini is the same transit that we saw during the Revolutionary War. Correct me that, on the Civil War as well, right?
Mhm.
So, what are we looking at for our next 7 years? Like, just give us, like, in the astrological, like, whatever way you see it. Like,
Yeah.
how?
Okay. So Uranus is one of those planets. It represents a disruption. It is kind of a disruptor. When it enters the field, it's similar to Pluto in that way. In that
Yeah.
Pluto is like the planet of death and rebirth. And what's nice about Pluto is that it leaves the ground tilled for you to put some new plants in and grow something new. Uranus just comes in and just kind of moves stuff around.
Yeah.
It's whatever's not working.
Yeah.
And I think
Because
a
it
lot of us,
also goes like this, right? It rotates like
yes,
this. So things
yes,
turns upside down. Yeah.
exactly. So I think a lot of us feel that right now in our nervous system. We feel our nervous system's kind of under attack. And that is because Uranus has connected to Gemini. And Gemini is all about the nervous system. It's about the way that your mind processes things.
Yeah.
And so for the next 7 years, we're going to be experiencing kind of an electric feeling within our nervous systems as well. And that's going to go out into everything from
Yeah.
the way that we communicate with ourselves to the way that we communicate with each other, our government systems, and all that jazz. What I want you guys to understand is that Uranus is not offering us change in a way that's negative. It might feel negative at times,
Yeah. Yeah.
but and I would say she because the planets are ladies to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's offering us a chance at something, to look at something new, to hear something new. Um, what I want you guys, I'm gonna ask you guys to just think about it real quick. When you walk into a room and you know that the energy in that room, somebody was fighting in it, or somebody was, it was charged romantically. When you walk into a room and you feel that energy, Uranus is tapping you in to feeling that in every space that you're in all the
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
And that can be very overwhelming
Yeah.
to our nervous systems. It can make it feel as if we're kind of in an ocean and we're
Yeah.
not sure if we're up or down, like you said.
Yeah.
And that's what
Yeah.
Uranus is doing. And it's doing that for a reason. It's making room for us to be able to grow. As a nation, like you said, the last time we experienced it during that Revolutionary War, um, everything changed. Absolutely everything changed. And here we are again. I told you I mapped it out a little bit. I'm going to give you just, if you don't mind, I'm going to give you a little bit of a mapping.
Just if you want to share your screen, go ahead and share your
I
screen.
wish I could. It's on an
Okay.
opposite screen, but I'm going to tell
Okay.
you guys about it. And this will be
Okay.
an article that's coming
Okay.
out sometime next week.
Awesome.
Right now in 2026, we've got a signal change. That's what we're experiencing. Uranus fully returned to Gemini, and we should expect an acceleration in AI. Anyone else feeling that? Is anyone else feeling like you can't get away from AI? I logged into the Zoom to do this, and it it was an AI assistant that wanted to walk me through stuff, and I'm just like, "What are you? Get away! I don't want you! I don't stop infusing AI into absolutely everything. I don't need it." Right?
Hey, I'm gonna like take a little bit of a bifurcation here. You know, yesterday I was scrolling through TikTok. I don't know why. I had very bad period cramps, so I was like really lying horizontal. I'm like, what I'm gonna do? Like looking at TikTok. You know, I don't know if you guys have seen those videos where they make these ridiculous stories with like fruit people.
Yes. What is it? Fruit Island? Fruit AI Island? Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
and it's also like like a watermelon and a
A
cherries
fever
and
dream.
love story or something like that. They're like, and yesterday I saw there are two humans doing reenacting that.
Yes.
And somebody's saying, okay, this is where the humans take back their job from AI. So it
This
was
is
like,
what I want. This is what I'm here for. Absolutely.
yeah,
And so we're feeling that. I think we're also going to see a lot of media chaos and then educational fights. The big deal right now, and you and I were just kind of speaking about how illiteracy is kind of happening.
yeah,
And the way that it's happening is through people pushing AI, and they're not using their constructive or critical thinking skills anymore. And
yeah,
it's causing that disconnect. There's going to be a lot of tech regulation, transportation disruptions, and language of political emergency. in 2026, don't buy into it. Don't buy into it. When I tell you right now, I'm looking at the next 7 years and we're going to kick so much ass. There, a couple things before I go any farther. If voting didn't work, they wouldn't be trying so difficult, so hard to make it so hard for you to vote.
Exactly. That is what
If
I tell you guys all the time, that it does work. That's why they're making it so difficult for people.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And you're going to find nefarious workers or nefarious people within the left and the left of center and even the far left and super progressive. There are going to be people who are going to say to you right now in 2026 and 2027 and 2028, voting doesn't matter. I don't know why you're doing that.
Yeah.
Both sides are the same. Listen, buddy, you're not going to shit in my taco here,
Yeah.
right? Like, we're not doing that. I'm going to vote for one, the progressive candidates who are anti-Israel, who are anti-ICE, and as long as we push those things, we're winning.
Yeah.
The narrative is on fire, and we're winning. 2027, I see that the United States hits a live wire.
Mhm.
So the first exact U.S. Uranus return happens July 26, 2027, followed by another one in November 5th of 2027. So the national identity shock points. So those specific times are going to have some type of national identity shock point. What do I mean by that? Well, what does the government do when they want you to feel as if we're all one?
Mhm.
They will create patriotic propaganda. And they're
Exactly.
going to be pushing patriotic propaganda all through 27.
I mean, this was the same thing during World War as well, during which we again had that same transit, right? It was the time of propaganda. Hey, I like these kind of artists, like the 1950s style, like,
Yeah, the
you know,
pinup art.
yeah, and I like that. You will see like the tarot deck even I designed that has this kind of like
So cute.
it is also from all of those propaganda poster. I have a weird like a liking towards it,
Oh, no, me
just
too.
the
I
artwork.
love it. I love it. Absolutely. And don't get me started on Marilyn Monroe because she was like the most beautiful propaganda pinup ever.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, we do have a lot of that going on. You're also going to be dealing with election infrastructure. Here's the deal. People are going to tell you that he's going to cancel the elections. You're going to hear that a lot. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That is a fear. And the way that, and I think all of you in the chat have heard this before. I know Broom is screaming on the top of her lungs when she says that if you begin to fear the things they're saying, they're winning,
They're
right?
already that is already the job done. And
That's it. Job
the
done.
the funny thing is that day my son was biking outside and there is a lady who in my neighborhood, she's like, what's the point of voting anymore? They took away the women's right to vote. And I'm like, sorry, what? I'm like, no, they are doing this. She means the Save Act, and she to her how it is coming is like, oh, they took away, they are taking away.
It's already done. It's already
Yeah,
inevitable. Yeah.
and I'm like, it's I have to, on one side I have to keep an eye on the 3-year-old who may go into the street and like get
Right.
hit by a, and I'm like, so I have to really talk to you, but I have to send this guy back in my home so that I can talk to you because this is
Yeah.
insane to me, right?
Yeah.
So this is the thing, they're already 60% there in making you not go to the polls.
Yep. They're working nonstop. I can guarantee you that Mike Johnson isn't sleeping well at night.
Oh no, no,
I
he
can guarantee you that man has ulcers in his gut. He is sick to his stomach because he is between a rock and a hard place.
yeah.
He's got a literal naked mad king. I'm not joking when I say he is a naked mad king. That man has lost his mind. And he within the regime, everyone he's installed is a yes man or a yes woman. So the incompetence is insane. So if you guys believe that the people in charge have the intelligence to be able to pull off a full coup, stop us from being able to vote and take over the government, we have, and I'm not joking when I say this, I'm not being patriotic, I'm not a huge war fan, but we have one of the strongest, most powerful, most funded militaries in the world. And they have spent the same amount of money in this 6 months of skirmish that they spent in 4 years in Iraq. They
Yeah.
don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They are idiots.
Yeah.
The idiots are in charge, you guys,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
want us to be afraid. And that's what's happening here in 2027 is they're pushing that. I also see mass protest in
Mhm.
2027. Mass protest. You guys think the no kings is something? Baby, no, 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 no. I see some beautiful showing. And when I say protest, I'm not just talking about showing up in the streets. I'm talking about canceling things, people voting with their wallets,
Yeah.
people voting with their morals. I
Yeah.
truly believe that we're going to see a huge shift when it comes to us realizing in a consciousness awakening in 2027.
Yeah. Yeah.
2028, uh, the return completes. The consequences are sharpening. May 11th, 2028 brings the third exact U.S. Uranus return. It feels kind of like the political parties, alliances, courts, and public trust may be forced into like a reconfiguration of some sort. So
Yeah.
after 2027, 2028 comes in, that's midterms, right?
Mhm.
And I know have you done midterm
I have, but I mean,
astrology?
not like all of it, but I've done parts of it. Like
Okay, me
the
too. I've
over
done parts
the
of it too.
yeah, the
There's
overall is like blue. It will be blue house, blue senate, but not senate enough. Like not 67 like filibuster proof majority. That's what I see because it's mathematically even not possible. We don't even
right,
have that many seats up for re-election. Like
right. I agree.
yeah,
And so we're definitely going to give them a run for their money. We're going to
yeah,
push back quite a bit, but there's still going to be some visible reconfiguration that needs to happen. I also want to say this, and this is just completely grounded in facts. I was doing some reading, and the lobbyists for AI within the next 5 years will be putting more money than Israel into lobbying. And so what you're going to be seeing is a huge push for AI. You guys think you're seeing a huge push for AI now? This is just the beginning. I think that we've all kind of figured out that AI isn't making the money that the government said it was going to make because it's kind of we don't want it. So I mean that's what's happening, right? Is that we've all
yeah.
just kind of been like, you can keep your AI. Um,
And also I would give one like a like an insider thing. Like I worked in a technology that we built those chips that are being used in AI. Like
yes.
some of my contribution is one in those chips, by the way, like
Mhm.
scientific contribution. I can tell you what they are telling you AI can do or cannot do is pretty inflated than what
Very
is the
inflated.
correct current capabilities are. So this is from a scientific perspective. I worked in that technology, so I can tell you that what you hear is a little bit too inflated and like extrapolated data that they are telling you that this can do this can do that. There's a lot of issues. We can do all of those
It
things.
genuinely needs at least if I mean each AI LLM needs a human hand holding it. It's not
Exactly.
able to do things on its own trustworthy because it
Yeah.
hallucinates.
Yeah.
Recently, there was a tech company that one of their corporate officers on X. Yes, I'm on there, but only because I want to know what they're saying.
Yeah.
Um,
I have a troll account that I
Me
troll
too.
people.
No one knows it's me, but I'm there. She said that they recently found out that for 4 months the AI was hallucinating numbers and
Mhm.
it was inflating the value of the company,
Yeah.
and they figured it out too late, and it caused a devalue of the company.
Yeah.
And so when people tell you that AI is coming for you, it's not AI itself; it's the people who own AI that
Yeah.
are trying to take over or take things. But slowly but surely, as of right now, people are hiring more humans back
Mhm.
in because
Yeah.
they're seeing they need it. It's
Yeah.
going to be even more in 27, even more in 28. Um,
So
2029. What
so
you
my I have one more question, and this question is
Yes.
actually from a friend of mine. We were having this discussion like a couple of days ago.
Hmm.
She was asking, like, maybe you can look at or ask your friends who are astrologers, like, do they see that the amount of job cuts that we see right now, in like maybe in a year or so, people are going to figure out that AI did such a
Yep.
shitty job that they're going to hire these workforce back in. Do you
Yes.
see that happening?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. It's part of the revolution.
yeah,
What happens is this. My biggest fear for a while, and what I thought I was seeing in the chart, was that they were firing people not because AI was going to be amazing and take their jobs, but because they could rehire at a lower rate is
Hmm.
what they were trying
Yeah.
to do. And it's kind of the principle is what they did during COVID when they
Yeah.
raised the prices crazy and then they
Yeah.
dropped them back down, but they were still higher than they were before. And somehow we just accepted it because it was better than the crazy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so right now we're experiencing job shortages and obviously this big bubble that's the bubble of pornography and AI that's holding the entire world hostage right now, right? Um, what you're going to see is they're going to start hiring people back. And at first, it's going to be a struggle because you're going to see people um, not accepting it because the rates are too low.
Yeah.
And that's where the revolution comes in, is that people need to, when they're coming back in for these jobs, they need to hold their ground. They need to stick to, no, don't just accept, and I think that's what they're expecting is for us to be
Yeah.
so desperate that we just accept. That's where collective consciousness comes in. It's really important that we remember that we have to take care of each other. And I don't know about you, but for me, the way that when I'm looking at the chart, the only way I see out of this is mutual aid.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Mutual aid, mutual aid, mutual aid. And the problem is that they've got us living in this kind of mindset. I say us as a blanket, because obviously you and I and our people who are watching right now are definitely vibrating at a higher frequency. But they have many of us living in this rugged individuality kind of thought process, which I think is so yucky and it's anti-empathetic and it's the antithesis to human, is what I think, right?
I would bring here a little bit of an example is like, so I'm Indian, so I grew up in India. So to us, like, living with older parents is a normal thing because,
Yeah.
like that's how our family enclosure. And if you think like India actually evolved as a matriarchy and then was forcibly turned into a patriarchy, you would see
Hmm.
that because we have older generation that lived in our family, like, grandmothers or maternal figures, because they are the one who's the source of the knowledge, right? That
Yes.
would be like passing it down to your children in that way. So it is now called a patriarchy, but it is actually has always been a matriarchal society, but it's just labeled now like
Mm,
women are like treated that way. But when I'm married to my husband is from here, he's American, and he's although very close to his family, but whenever I bring up the fact that, hey, I, I'm not a big fan of my mother-in-law, but I bring up
me
the fact
neither.
that I bring up the fact that like she's 76 years old, almost 80 years old. I don't really like her living by herself. Like
Yeah, no.
if something happens, we will probably get to know by the time it is all is over or
Too
something,
late.
right?
Yeah.
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 So I sometimes from time to time bring it up. Like maybe she should move in with one of her kids. Like, she has 4 kids and they all live close by. Most of them are single now or divorced or, like maybe she and he would be like, Do you know how hard it will be to live with my mom?" And like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you know what? I'm willing to make that sacrifice because I don't
It's a
know.
little bit of
Maybe,
time.
yeah, she probably has like what, 10 good years left, and I really like. Then he's like, "You're gonna regret this." I mean, I don't know. I don't think you're thinking it through. Like my husband makes fun of that. It's like this is not India. This is not how it works. And I'm like, you know what? This is how it should work. Like
It is. It is. Absolutely. I live with my mother and my father. I live in a multi-generational home. They helped me raise. My mother is the matriarch. I was raised in a home that was around motherhood, and she helped me raise my children. I have a 20-year-old. I have a 16-year-old. I cannot imagine living in any other way than having my mother and a divine feminine right next to me. So I totally understand. And I was actually something that I think is so beautiful about India and the culture is the love and respect it has for its elders and how they take care of you when you're younger, you take care of them when they're older. It's lost here. It's lost here. And I honestly, it's lost here because a lot of the older generation is so incredibly disconnected from the younger generation in a way mostly because of the way that they've set this up. They've pit us against each other.
yeah.
Many of my readers are 60 and 70 and
Most of
80.
my readers are from that
Yeah.
generation. I
And
was
they're the
getting this
people
from.
who fought against the war, they sat in the civil rights movement. They fought for women's rights. They fought for Black and brown people. Like there is an entire group of older generation who wants to see us succeed. but they've made it so that they want us pit against each other.
Yeah.
And it's terrible to see. I truly, like, I was thinking about the wisdom of orcas, of killer whales. They have
Yeah.
a pod and they have one grandmother who is the center, and she helps rear the children and she helps teach the lessons. And
Yeah.
I truly believe, I think I've written about this several times this year, that the divine feminine is the answer to what's
Yeah.
happening right now. The
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
is it the divine feminine?
Yeah, and I also see it in this way. Like, if really, I was telling this to on Lawrence and Dana's daily whatever show the other day, and I thought about it when I said that oil is patriarchy. If we regard oil as patriarchy, then green energy is the matriarchal equivalent to it, because it's earth, it's green, and that is like, that needs to be, if that comes over, that means divine feminine has to like be in charge at that time.
Yes.
Otherwise, yeah,
Yes.
by divine feminine, I don't mean a bunch of women. I mean
No.
people who are aligned with that energy, right? That,
Yes, yes. My husband is a Taurus, 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 Taurus. He's so many Tauruses. He's run by Venus. I've never met a more manly man, so in touch with his divine feminine. I would love all men with that attitude. You know, that's the what I'm talking about. Is that I truly think that when people hear divine feminine, they think we're talking about just women, and it's the divine feminine and the divine masculine are seated within all of us. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
and that's another thing, on a side note, that's what makes trans individuals so magical, because they have the divine feminine and the divine masculine rooted so deeply inside of them, and they're sitting with both of them.
yeah,
And I think it makes people uncomfortable because they don't know how to be that magical. It
exactly.
bothers them that they don't have access to such power. I look at my trans son and I think to myself, he's so beautiful and so magical and so precious, that I would fight for him to the end, you know. And I just a side note, I just love my trans families. I always have to throw that out there whenever I'm on Two Spirits KK. You know what's up, baby.
Yeah,
Okay. We're at 2029. Is that where we're at?
yeah,
Okay, so yeah. Okay, so 2029, new networks formed from the wreckage. So whatever took over, whatever happened in 2028, I believe and you believe, we will have a blue wave.
mhm.
That will happen. There is zero chance we're not having a blue wave.
No matter what they do, gerrymander,
You can't.
whatever, you
It's
cannot, and you cannot work against the actual statistical data, right?
absolutely.
Every midterm, there is like 27% possibility that the incumbent party is going to win.
Yep.
27% is very small. I'm
Yes.
willing to take my chances. That's
Yeah, yes,
it.
exactly. So we're looking at 2029. We're having new organizing systems. And so this is where I believe mutual aid really comes in. I believe that we're going to vote in a lot of Democrats who are progressive, more towards the progressive side. I do believe that and I've heard Hassan Piker say this before, I'm going to repeat it. Israel is as popular as it's ever going to be today. Every single day, it gets less and less popular. Okay. We're going to see by 2029, they don't have their hooks in our system as much anymore. Obviously AI will definitely have their hooks in our system, but we're going to be on top of that. There's also going to be a decentralized resistance. Now, what
Yeah,
do I say by that? When Minnesota had its stuff pop off, the reason why Minnesota was so successful was they had decentralized leadership. There was no one person in charge. It
yeah,
was groups of people, mutual aid. There was no one person they could charge with anything.
yeah,
We're going to see a lot more of that in 2029. Decentralized resistance with teeth. The teeth, I believe, is coming from Uranus and Gemini. I think that the ability to communicate in a way that is no longer um, glossed over. It's no
mhm,
longer, I don't know about you, but I have zero desire to be sexy for men who are attracted to children. I grew up my whole life with an eating disorder, thinking that I was too big, not pretty enough, not young enough, not soft enough, too hairy, too much, too much, too much, too much, too much. Come to find out, I was groomed as a child of the 90s to want to be smaller, softer, and more palatable to men old enough to be my grandfather. And I refuse to do that anymore. I don't know about you, but
I have a very polar opposite situation.
tell
So
me.
Indian women are normally voluptuous, right? Because that's our or like a oriental curvature figure you would see
Yes.
in all of those temples and all. And I was not that.
Mm.
So I was kind of like I was petite and like I had an eating disorder as well, which is strange that you also had it. So I
Oh, really?
yeah, I had eating disorder in the sense that I would just like not eat. Like I would not eat like 100% of all the food. Like my mom had a hard time like making me eat anything.
Hmm.
Never got diagnosed, went away with puberty. I don't know, something happened. But I was very underweight my entire life and
Hmm.
looked like a child when I was a teenager. So which is very different from what they
It's
want
well,
to.
the beauty standards for different for both of us growing
Yeah.
up. So we
Yeah.
were subject to beauty standards in our specific cultures.
Yeah. So
Not
so I would
cool.
not wear sari because I don't look good in it because you need kind of a little voluminous figure to
Hmm.
to look good in that. And till date I don't wear it because of all the trauma that I had. I'm like I don't want to
I
wear it.
just know that you would look so pretty in an emerald green sari. I just know it. I just know you would look gorgeous in one.
So
Uh,
I got married in the Western way, like in like I had a white wedding. So I like, oh, I don't have to wear sari and like be like criticized for not
yes.
looking good for
And
that.
you can wear whatever dress you want. That's
Yeah.
the best. I love that for you.
So yeah, so it's like it's very contrast, but the point is the same. It's like
Yes.
what men want, like women to look like. That is what the subject was. It's like, oh, you
Yes.
don't you don't adhere to the traditional version. Like if you see women representation in like women in Bollywood movies versus Indian women in Hollywood movies.
Hmm.
Indian women in Bollywood movies are all fair, like, but we
Yes.
have a shade like a spectrum of shades, right?
Yes.
Every single Bollywood heroine is fair and like pretty and like the straight hair, like all of those things. But when they do like Hollywood movies, they are like darker, very dark. Like they have to like find people who are very dark so that they
Yes.
can do like I just don't get it. Like why can't we be normally portrayed?
I totally understand. It feels almost tokenized, right?
Yeah,
Like they're
yeah,
tokenizing. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like I'm in my soul is so tired of performing for people who never cared enough about me to make sure that I was okay as a child, right?
yeah.
Like my soul is so tired of that. And I think as a whole, as a collective, divine feminine, both male and female, because I don't think that this is spoken to enough. And I think it should be men suffer in the patriarchy as
Oh
well.
yeah, yeah, very
It
much.
it is horrific
It's
to
horrible.
men.
Yeah.
And I think that it's another point where they separate us and they wedge something between us to make us be mad at each other. But truly what it comes down to is men, there is nowhere for men to embrace their divine feminine in a way where they're not ostracized for it. And I believe in 2029, we're going to start to see more acceptance of that, more spaces, more conversations where women are, I wouldn't say less angry because there's no way we're going to get less angry until we see change. But I
Yeah.
would say maybe Uranus and Gemini will flip us upside down as a collective. And maybe something will happen in the 2028, 2029 years where women as a whole open their eyes more to how men are being treated and are able to have more of a conversation. And in no way am I downplaying what men have done to women at all, believe me. But I do believe there's a conversation that needs to be had. And I do believe that there's a level of I think we need to put everybody in one of those anger rooms where we just beat on things for a couple hours and then we have a conversation, right? Because everyone's super, super angry. I don't think it's possible. Someone says less angry. I don't think it's possible. I
Possible.
get that. I get
Yeah,
that.
it's not. I mean,
All right.
my rage is like always beaming underneath. I know I come across the
You're
very
like the
calm.
Hulk. You're always mad.
I mean, I know I come across a very calm person, but I can tell you guys, you don't know me that well because
I am mad.
I'm I'm very mad. I just don't like. I probably don't let it come out through my writing that much, but sometimes it does come out. I think somebody pointed it out like that was like super snarky article. I'm like, maybe I should have like
No,
dialed
no, no.
down my
I like it when
snark.
you get snarky. No, no, no. As a snarky bitch, I like it when you get snarky. I think that my frustration comes out quite a bit in my stuff because I'll drop an F bomb. I'll throw out a couple of things. But more than anything, I think that what I always try to do in my articles, and I'm sure they come across this way, is I'm venting, I'm ranting, I'm venting, I'm ranting. Then I get to the end and I'm like, okay, be productive. How can we fix this? Give them some advice on how we can do better, because there's always got to be, okay, now that we're done bitching about how it is, how can we come together collectively? And that's the difference between you and I and regular media. You and I are giving them proactive solutions, things they can do in the moment with their families, with themselves, with their thought process, that you're not seeing in everyday media, because that would calm our nervous systems down, and that would be counterproductive to what
Yeah.
they're trying to do.
Yeah, yeah. And I know I feel like that is like in India, journalism is very diverse. Like your opinion pieces are counted as journalism. Somebody gave me a earful the other day. I don't want your opinion. Why don't, if you are doing news, you should just roll up news. I said, then you're looking for a reporter. I'm not a reporter.
Nope. Nope. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. All right. So we've got 2030. We got a culture war becomes reality. By this point, people may be exhausted with synthetic media. I don't know about you guys. I'm so tired of. So, first of all, I love your covers. By the way, your articles. I love your covers. They're always, even from the very beginning, when I think you were cyber sigilizing at the very beginning, and I love. Oh, girl, I'm into it. I love your covers. I feel like I get a good idea of what your article is going to be. My issue with the mainstream media right now, and even some progressive media, is they're taking true pictures of the politicians and then running them through AI and making them have like a cry face or a scream face or something. And it's not like it's a cartoon that we've generated, or it's a cartoon that we have. What we're seeing is somebody trying to make, it's like a clickbait thing.
Clickbait thing. Yeah.
I'm over it. If I
Yeah.
see that someone's done that, I won't read their article because I feel it's disingenuine, and it's plastic feeling.
I know. I know. If everybody is wondering what Gray mentioned by cyber sigilizing it, it's actually kind of like etching what is coming in a picture.
It's
So
why I started following you, because I love it.
it's, I mean, I feel like so many of my cover images, if you go back to dated 2025, they have come true. Like
Yes.
actually has manifested in reality.
Listen, I was
Yeah.
there. I saw it. I saw it happen. So yeah. Oh, you guys are glitching. Try leaving and coming back in, seeing if that will help with you guys. And so we're definitely gonna have spiritual assignments becoming a spiritual assignment with discernment. What do I mean by that? At this point, at 2030, you're going to have incredible ability to spot AI, the
Mhm.
incredible ability to spot a lie, the incredible ability to spot someone using propaganda. By the time we get to 2030, everything's going to be very melded together. And it's going to be very important that you hold on to that constructive, critical thinking.
Yeah.
I think this happens to me all the time. I'm scrolling, I'm scrolling, I'm scrolling. I see a headline. I get mad. I turn to my husband. I say, "Did you know? Blah, 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 blah." And he goes, "Did you look it up first?" Oh, you know what? Hold on. Give me a second. And I look it up. Oh, you know what? That was sensationalized.
Yeah. And like to this morning itself, when they say that the Virginia's court, Supreme Court has, like struck down the map,
Yes.
literally like the first five news reporter is like, oh, this is the end. We lost this war. This is the Republicans are 8 seat ahead. I'm like, did you even look at the map from, governor's race last year? Like, why? Like, I mean, that's why I had to make that video. Is like, I
Yes.
don't know what the other people are saying, but I am looking at this and my conclusion is totally different. Maybe people are not doing math. I can do the
They're
math
not doing
better.
math. They're not doing math. I promise you, they're not doing math. And I think that you've seen this. You've seen me do this a lot. I find a lot of comfort in math when I start doing the math and I start basing everything in reality and science. And I know astrology and spiritualism. That's so weird that we would be doing math. No, we're logical humans who base things in logical science.
Mhm.
Um, even though I truly believe astrology is real and scientific, but it's fine. We'll talk about that at
I
some
mean,
point.
astrology is fact based, and astrology is more like what should I say? It's a language.
Mm,
than it's like a
100.
mathematics,
It
science, or
is.
yeah.
It is
So
a language. I
it's a
agree. And
language. Yeah,
it took me, I mean, I started doing astrology when I was 10. It's taken me till I was 40 to get to where I'm at. And I still don't know anything. Like, I still feel like I'm still learning every single day. But yeah, so I truly believe that we are going to experience, the need for levels of discernment that are much higher than we have right now. So we're practicing, right?
yeah,
That's why I'm doing these articles where I'm like, don't freak out. Don't stress by it. I don't know. Last week I posted an article where I explained how just by adding a little bit extra to your grocery list every single time, by the end of the month, you can have enough supplies for 2 weeks worth of backup. And it
backup.
doesn't need to
Exactly.
be stressful, doesn't need to be panic buying, doesn't need to take the shelves out. If we can be calm and we can handle this with mutual aid and constructive criticism, or constructive thinking rather, not only can we survive this, we can thrive. Like, we have all of the power.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And remember, these billionaires or whatever, they these 5 billionaires own everything, but they are also dependent on our money.
they
Like
need
if
it.
if we stop giving them money, like I was telling this other day, I got really frustrated when this person was asking him, "Do you know that the gas prices are?" And he said, "No, the gas prices have come down. They have come down a lot. Today, I filled up with $5.10 my tank today." In Costco, Costco is the cheapest that I
The
can get.
cheapest. Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm like, why aren't people calling him out when he's lying? I am
yeah,
tired of like, and I am also. That's why I asked like everybody. Like, I at this point, I don't know. I am doing. I am me. You are doing way more journalism than these
way more.
people,
And
and
I'm not a journalist.
yeah, and I that is not even my full-time job. Like I didn't even go to school for that. And it
No.
takes like it takes like so less time to kind of like at least put in my critical thinking cap and like see the broader pattern on what people are trying to tell you. Even then I don't my subscriber count is not going up. Like
No.
I'm not saying it's a vanity metric or whatever, but if you are why do you subscribe to these people who are lying to you day in
Yes.
and day out? And
And and also they're regurgitating the same headlines. So a lot
exactly.
of the people that you guys, not that you guys, because I know our readers are again vibrating at a higher frequency than most,
Yeah.
but I've actually lost 35 paid subscribers this month.
Me too, me too. I have also
And
lost significant amount of subscribers.
yeah,
I don't know, maybe I said something or they
no,
didn't
no.
like something.
What I truly believe is that people are cutting back on the payments because of how tight things are.
Yeah,
I made a little post that was like, "You're still an agent of chaos to me. I'll
yeah.
see you when you come back." The thing is that when we give our money, our which is our eyeballs or our wallets or our time to hi Lisa to these people that are on Substack. There's people on Substack that are just reading what a CNN headline says, putting it into an AI, they're generating an article, they're posting the article, and 3,000 people are reading it, and it's not been, it's not set in reality. And I think it's really, really, really important that people understand that um people are lying to you like on a regular basis. And I don't want to throw anyone under the bus. I don't want to like start throwing out names and stuff of people on Substack. They're not. There's not anybody that is in our group here, but there are people who are sensationalizing the news in order to get you to give them $5 a month, and I I can't emphasize enough how you need to take your money away from those people. You need
Right.
to
And
take your power.
that's why I do sensationalization. So that
Absolutely.
it's like we do these are all like you have to really be this is a good time to hone your discernment, like the tool
Mm.
called discernment. This is noise and this is news. We have to really filter it out.
Brim, I love that. This is
Yeah.
noise and this is news. That's brilliant. Your brain is perfect. I love that. Yes, that's so true. So much fucking noise right now.
I mean,
Um,
especially with the, I'm going to even ask you that question. We're coming to that, but especially with this new hantavirus thing, that is, in my opinion, I feel like it's total noise. It's just for you to not pay attention to what's going on in your, like when people say that, oh, this is a distraction. This is a distraction.
yeah, you guys are looking over here at the left, and
Yeah,
what are they doing with the right?
yeah.
So, I'm gonna speed through this really quick because I'd love to talk about the hantavirus. 2032, there is Uranus begins moving towards Cancer in August of 2032, then returns to Gemini in December for an unfinished business, is what I wrote. That suggests a preview of a next crisis. So with in my LSDS, I have like a pressure system, right? So when it's in the threshold pressure, that's the last 5 degrees of a sign. It's almost like the sign is halfway through the door. So part of its leg is in Cancer, part of its body is in Gemini.
Gemini, yeah.
And when that happens, you're going to see the homeland, the housing, the everything that comes back to, because, America's chart ruler is Cancer.
Yeah.
So you're going to see homeland, housing, food, family systems, national belonging, and protection. 2032 is when you're going to see a lot of people deciding maybe they should be living in multi-generational homes. Maybe we should be taking care of each other. Maybe we should be lifting our children up in communities. It takes a whole community, right? I truly believe we're going to see a consciousness shift between 2031 and 2032. And then in 2033, May 2033, Uranus exits Gemini. The information revolution, which is what this has been about, right, becomes a domestic security revolution. So what we fought for in language moves into land, shelter, belonging, survival, infrastructure. And that's when we're going to start moving into, like I said, multi-generational homes. You're going to see people's small businesses start to pick up and be more and flourish more as larger corporations begin to crumble. And that's just another part of that Pluto and Aquarius that's happening too.
Yeah. Awesome. I will have her like link this article to
Yes.
the video. Don't worry, you can read it. If you missed part of it, you join later. That's okay.
Yes.
Now I'm gonna come ask her this question about this. Is this a COVID part 2? What do you think? Oh my God, are we gonna be locked down again?
Well, you tell me what you
I'm
think.
already rolling my eyes here, but anyways.
You tell me what you think first.
So if you ask me, like, yes, I do see another pandemic coming, but this is not the one. Okay, I would tell you that what I have seen, I saw that back in 2024, because every time he gets elected, he does bring the plague. I will tell you that the plague really
so true.
a plague really does follow him. But
Yes.
My worry is more about a disease that we already thought was extinct coming back. That is my worry more, like something like a measles or the real plague for that matter. But not this, which is so hard to actually be like. But this one has a plague-like feature, like because it is from rodents.
Rats,
but
rats,
but that's why you don't want rats and rodents in your home. So
well,
I
and
mean
with the Andes virus, which is, I've done a lot of research. There's an article up right now for you guys, and it's a live document. So every night before I go to bed, I do all my research and I update what's new with the virus for the day. You don't have to go look anywhere else. Just go look at that article. I will tell you the verified truth, and then you can go to sleep, and not have to worry about anything. You would have to physically make out with somebody.
Yeah.
Like you have to be really, really close to people to get this. Okay. So even if, let's just say, I don't think it's just going to end. I do see it stepping up a little bit, but I don't see a full blown pandemic from this. What I do see is an opportunistic government that would love to try and use something like this to scare you into thinking that there is a pandemic. Or to scare you out of thinking about the Epstein files, or to scare you out of talking about gas prices, or the fact that we're in an illegal and offensive war right now with a country that like literally is telling us you could stop anytime now. Whenever you're done, you could stop. I mean, the issue is this. We're dealing with a very scary rat-based plague feeling, like less than 5 years from COVID.
Yeah.
We're traumatized. Y'all are
it's a
triggered.
PTSD thing.
You're feeling PTSD, and it's normal. I totally understand where you're coming from, but when I look at the astrology of it, it doesn't add up. I don't see it happening.
I mean, that's what I mean. I'm a novice astrologer, but when I saw it, I would look at like signatures like Saturn being in Capricorn versus Saturn in Aries. So the Saturn Capricorn thing was like a chronic, long time thing, like going on and on forever. But Saturn Aries doesn't. I don't know. I think it is not gonna be a big.
No, Saturn Aries has too much other garbage to be dealing with
going on.
Too much. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's what I think. So, and I'm not an astrologer. Like Gray is a astrologer, so I would trust
I
her more.
dabble. I dabble. I genuinely don't feel it. I I agree. I do believe that if we are going to have a pandemic, it would be measles
Yeah,
or
or
mumps
or
or
like smallpox for that matter.
smallpox,
Yeah,
something that we already removed, and then RFK came in and Kool-Aid manned the door down and then was like, "Oh yeah, let's
yeah,
get sick."
yeah.
So yeah, that's what I would do. If I were you guys, the moment that you hear sensationalism, I would change the channel. Am I telling you that you shouldn't, be
Worry
safe?
about it. Yeah,
No, definitely. I am a 40, almost 42-year-old woman who lives in a small, sleepy California town. And when I go to the grocery store, I still wear a mask. I do that because I have autoimmune issues. And if I get sick, it hurts really, really bad. Am I saying you shouldn't take precautions? Maybe next time you go to the grocery store, buy an extra water, buy some canned goods? No, definitely. It doesn't hurt to be prepared. But I see nothing in the charts about this blowing up other than it being advantageous for
yes.
the powers that be to try and scare you. And I'm not letting it happen.
Yeah, same thing. And also, I would say that we only got to know about this, like I said, is because a few rich people on that cruise. I'm telling you, like that, the lowest price to go on that cruise was what, $7,000 or $10,000?
7,000. Yeah. It
Yeah.
was an
So,
expedition cruise. Rich
right.
people.
Right, rich because some rich people got sick, and I wanna say like add another layers, rich white people got sick, guys. If it would
A
have been
hundred
yeah,
percent.
yeah. So that's why we even got to know about it because
Yeah.
that's why the media cycle cares. At the same time, there are other communicative diseases going on in African countries which you didn't even get to know. It is happening at the same time, guys.
Absolutely. And
Right?
also, I don't think people realize that. So, the Andes virus, it's the only version of the hantavirus that can do human to human. And it is only found in South America. And it has been found in South America many times.
Yeah,
And you didn't hear
Argentina.
about it.
Mm,
You didn't
yeah,
know about it. You didn't
yeah,
know that there were South American children that had died from it. And
yeah.
so Broom is absolutely right. A rich white couple got sick, and that's why you heard about it.
Yeah, and also the fact that it spreads through like prolonged contact. Like they were
Yes.
literally like sharing the buffet food, silverwares, and I think a couple got sick who was literally sharing a bed, like
Yes.
with each other, right? So
Well, and I'll tell you guys, as of last night, they did a test on all three of the flight attendants. As of last night, at I think it was like 1 in the morning, none of all of the flight attendants tested negative.
mm,
Now, those flight attendants carried her off the plane,
mm,
and they're testing negative.
yeah.
So I really would don't let them get your nervous system going because there's already so much we have to
Yeah.
worry about.
Yeah, we have to focus. I mean, maybe this is a way they are gonna like you. I don't know. I've just thought about it. This is a way they're gonna not, deter people as people to go to the polls. You don't. I mean, they might just use that to scare. Oh my God,
Yeah, no,
we can't do that right
no,
now.
I'll stand in line with a mask on for hours. I am not above it.
Exactly. Exactly. And in Oregon, we don't even have that like excuse. It's 100% mail by vote, whatever. So
I
it's like
love it. I love it.
so yeah, so I am on with the same page with her. Is like I do not think I know we talked about it for hours. I think in our chat, like people were really like, oh, how are we going to deal with this? Should I travel? Yes, please travel. The other things you need to worry about travel more than hantavirus is like, are we going to have enough fuel like to travel, right?
And that's why they don't want you talking about that. They don't
Yeah.
want you talking about the fact that the very last tanker came into LA yesterday. The oil tankers move at the pace of a bicycle. So that's why it's taken all this time for that last tanker to finally land in LA. So from this moment on, we are going to see corporations, even if they don't have to, begin to raise prices because everyone else is doing it.
Yeah.
And what's important about this is that you guys vote with your wallet.
Yeah.
Vote with your wallet. Do your very best. And also, I think I saw somebody in the chat earlier say that they Um, there wasn't any community gardens in their town, and now there's 3. Start a community garden. Now is the time to begin growing food for your neighbors. If you feel comfortable, reach out to the elderly people in your neighborhood and ask them, hey, can I get something for you at the store? Create those connections with people. Also,
Yeah.
if you're living in a neighborhood with somebody who has solar power and you don't have solar power, now might be a really good time to get to know your neighbor with solar.
Yeah.
Because if for some reason there is a grid issue, being friends with somebody with solar is actually a really good idea.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. I mean, I cannot imagine that our house is the only house that has solar panels in my
mine too.
neighborhood. Yeah, it's
Mine
like
too.
I'm like, and we got it even during the time when they were giving us the rebate, like the government,
Yeah.
like a couple of years ago. Even then, people didn't put it in here. And when in Oregon, at least in our area, the 90% of our energy is actually not fossil fuel. So it is like really good. And my husband is like a green energy revolutionist. So
Me
he's like,
too. I love it. Yes, me
and
too.
I mean, he literally had to change my habits. Like growing up in India, you would think that I would be more environment conscious, but it was the opposite.
Hmm.
But he is like, okay, the recycles goes in recycle. Like tape is not recycled. Like he shows me like.
He's retraining you. I love it. That's
And
fantastic.
yeah, so it's like it's a little difficult to live with him, but it's worth it.
We'll take it. Love
so
it.
so it's like he kind of pushed us like, okay, like let's just get it, like even if it's hard, or if it's kind of financially a little bit more money that we're going to pay or whatever. But thank goodness. And I really regret not buying an electric car for myself.
Ugh,
Then, like he got his own electric car, so he will probably not ever have the excuse to not go to work if gas prices go high.
exactly. He can't. Yeah, you'll be like, that's too expensive. I actually got a scooter, and I just scoot around everywhere. I've had an electric scooter for like 5 years, but I'm lucky enough to live in a college town, so there's like a trail for everything.
Yeah, yeah. And then today I was just complaining to the Costco guy who was filling up my tank, and in Oregon it's like your tank is filled up by a person. You don't
I
have to
love
pay.
that.
Yeah. So I was like $55, and he's like, yeah, it sucks, doesn't it? And I'm like,
Yes,
I'm
literally.
and I'm like, I'm so like enraged. Like I didn't buy an electric car, and because I was thinking like, why should we just keep one fuel car,
That's
for
what
our
I was
family?
thinking. We just bought a fuel car. Like literally 2 months ago, we bought a new fuel car, and I'm like, I should have gotten an electric car.
I'm like, just such a like rookie mistake. I mean, how would I? I mean, well, I should have known. Like, what when
I
am
guess
I?
I should have known too. I
I
love
was
it.
like, this is the last thing in my mind about like, oh, the fuel
There's too
cost
much
is
going
gonna,
on.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I know.
Absolutely.
Anyways, so I have a few more questions for you, Gray,
Yes.
before we go. But thank you, everyone who joined. I am going to take a few more questions from here that I'm going to ask her. But maybe most, if the other ones that are crucial and you didn't get to ask or I didn't pick it, just ask in the comment section
Yeah,
and maybe we'll
ask for
probably
sure.
answer. Um, Somebody said, I'm so tired of seeing YouTube videos that scream out headlines like disaster, it's all falling apart. What do you think? Stop watching them and watch
Yeah.
us. Yeah,
Yeah.
we will never
Stop
spike
watching
your,
them.
yes, we'll never spike your cortisol. That is my
No, the
number
whole
one.
point, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but at the bottom of all of my articles, there is a song that is usually a nervous system reset song. So play that while you're reading my article. You should be fine.
Exactly. So, do you think this is helpful in preparing people for another illness? Yeah, it is. Like, I think so. Like, have enough resources of your. Like, I do not think that we are gonna be like locked in like what COVID was. I do think that that kind of a pandemic happens like once in 70 or
100
80.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. I don't think in our lifetime we are gonna see another one that is that intense. That's just
No,
my
I agree.
statistical analysis. Like the last one was Spanish flu before this, right? So that was like so many years ago. So I
Yes.
doubt that is going to be the case. Plus, I am a technology enthusiast, and I will probably always be pro technology. I don't, maybe I'm a little biased in that way, but I do think in AI revolution, one thing we would get is medical advancement. That with
Absolutely.
that will be very useful, and that would be the bright side of all of these, like how AI gets all the disc. But I think it will
Yes.
be useful for like gene therapy, like or CRISPR
100%.
technology and all of those things, where we can find cure for stuff like Alzheimer's and like that thing that they test for every baby. That really freaked me
Yes.
out. The spinal, I forgot that. The thing that Stephen Hawking had. Keep
Yep.
forgetting that has no cure and all of those things. So we are probably going to find cure for all of that,
I
and you will probably be thankful that we had AI at that time.
Well, and
So
I think that AI can be such a beautiful thing. Just I can pause you. 100, 200 years ago, there was a job called a scribe, and they would grab parchments and they would open the parchment and then they would rewrite what they saw on the crumbling parchment and then put that away. And then in another 50 years, a new scribe would come and do that. And it's no longer something that we need because we have a printing press. And at the time, scribes were very, very upset because their jobs were going away.
yeah,
Another example is during the Industrial Revolution, when we had the steam engine pop up, people who were horse vendors or horse sellers were very upset because the death of selling horses. There was no
yeah,
longer um, a market for horses because people were going to be into steam engines and then they were going to move into the Ford cars.
yeah,
And so there's always a little bit of a bumpiness when it comes to technological revolutions. And then there's always a dark side to it. There's always something that is negative. I do believe that AI can be incredibly beneficial in like a Star Trek kind of way, in like a computer
yeah,
answer this question for me kind of way.
yeah,
But I think it's important that we digest it um the way that we take it in is just as important as who's giving it to us, because
yeah,
when they see the patterns of how we want to use it and how we don't want to use it, and then they use their brains and they apply it to the technological stuff like medicine
yeah,
or even copyrights at this
yeah,
point, like
yeah,
things like that, aggregating data, that this is all stuff that can speed up the human process
yeah, yeah,
as long as we're using it for the right reasons. And I
yeah.
think that a lot of people were not being trained on using it for the right reasons. It's just making people illiterate.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. And the fact that we do need, with this dumb administration gutting the medical research,
Um,
I think it is creating that vacuum
yeah.
that when it is gonna go away, we really need faster,
Yes.
progress in that area, and AI will be helpful in that. So I am, I think you may say you're so optimistic. I'm not optimistic. I can totally see that is the area. If I was a person, had an AI company and has potential to develop AI technology, that would be my market. That
Yep.
okay, this is a dumb administration that created so much vacuum in medical research. I'm gonna rush my AI through it
Yes.
and find cure for all of these things. I'm
Yes.
just thinking in their way, so it's not optimistic. It is totally the what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and I think that there's not a lot we can do to stop the onset of it, but what we can do is make sure that we vote people in who want to mitigate the danger of it. We need an
Yeah,
AI Bill of Rights. We need an Internet Bill of Rights. We need to
exactly.
make sure that you know we get robots to do dishes and aggregate data, and we get humans to do paintings and write books. And that's
Exactly.
what I'm looking to see. Right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. And maybe I have one question for you, which I get a lot, and I have answered it a lot of times, but I do really want to see what other people think. What do you think about the the guy who wants to surveil us, like what we are doing in our bedroom?
Palantir?
Yeah, yeah,
I I I don't think he's long for this world. I don't number one, I don't think that somebody who has that level of inept human empathy has the ability to control things, if that makes sense.
Mhm,
I think that, well, number one, my one of my very first articles was about Curtis Yarvin.
mhm.
And I believe that Curtis Yarvin left America like 4 months ago because he's like, oh, this isn't going to work.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
he's gone. Palantir, what's his name? Peter
Peter,
Thiel. Peter Thiel, heavily tied to the Epstein files.
yeah,
Peter Thiel is a cancer, and a cancer that no one really wants. And what I mean by that is, like, even JD Vance is the guy that he's put up, right? Like, he's funding JD Vance. JD Vance is a fucking idiot. He's literally a dunce. Pardon my language, folks. But
JD Vance is a fictitious character, doesn't really
he's not, it's
exist.
not even his name. His name is James David, okay? JD Vance is somebody he made up like a year before he started running. Like, he's not a real thing. It's not a real thing. And so what we need to understand is when we give Peter Thiel our fear, we're feeding him.
Exactly.
Okay? He's a creep, who's definitely infiltrated the government, but I I see a guillotine.
Mm.
I see consequences,
Mhm.
and I see him running very soon. I wouldn't be surprised, based off of his chart, that he's no longer in America within the next maybe 2 to 3 months.
I also see the same thing. Like he's gonna like really because he's so afraid of being in the spotlight. In the like, why
Yes.
would I be scared about somebody who doesn't even feel comfortable being on camera? Like, I mean, that is the one thing. I'm like, I don't have to be scared of somebody who is like can't even answer questions. He's I'm
He's
like, okay.
sweating
I'm like,
and he's hungry. He looks starving.
I
Also,
know.
someone said Sam Altman too. Listen, Sam Altman got one Molotov cocktail to his house and he decided that we should have universal basic income. Those guys are bitches, okay? Those guys are literal bitches. I'm telling you straight up, they think that they are untouchable until we touch them. And I think that when it comes to Palantir, all I can say is this. I really want you guys to look into having VPNs. I really want you guys to look into your hygiene online. I want you guys to make sure that if you are on a website, like I don't know if you guys know this, but Australia and the UK are making people put their IDs or their face scans in for YouTube or for Spotify or whatever. If that comes to America, we refuse.
Yeah.
We refuse. We're not scanning in our faces for YouTube. We're not scanning in our faces for Discord. We're not scanning in our faces. We have to decide that we just won't use those things anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we will come up with an alternative.
With our
Like,
own thing.
yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, China literally has alternative to every single like these mainstream things, right? So
100%. 100%.
there is always gonna be
Oh,
something.
China.
Yeah.
China. They're so ahead of us. They're they're doing some magic stuff, guys. It's crazy.
Okay. There was one more question that I thought I wanna ask. That was um is I need to do better in hosting things. I
No,
mean,
you did great. This was so much fun. I have social anxiety. I didn't get nervous at all.
I thought this would be more like a conversation, and then I know like normally when I write my monologue podcast, I write it in a more
Yeah.
like a and I say it that way. I try to like breathe and I'm like, okay, but I wrote it like kind of like a speech. So
Yeah.
that sounds different versus this one. I'm like, I this is gonna be a good pattern breaker, like
Yes. I love
that
that.
yeah, than just me talking. I don't know. It's
No, I
trying
love
to
it.
like
Well, and I like when you're just talking too. It's good. It's good for you to have a little bit of both.
because like I'm thinking in my language and then I have to translate it. So I'm
I
like
can't
there's
even
always
imagine. I can't even imagine how you do that because I there's got to be words in your language that are not available in English
it's not. I just sometimes when me and my husband are watching a Bollywood movie and then I'm laughing at something and he's like, "Oh, the subtitle was not funny at all," and I'm like,
because it wasn't right.
I'm like,
Because it wasn't right.
I
Yep.
mean, even if it was right, the emotion is just lost in like
Yeah.
translation. So he's like, "Oh, I didn't find that funny," and I'm like,
Well,
I think it was
that's like
so
the word sonder. Sonder is a German word to meaning to miss something so
yeah,
much that sonder like that feeling doesn't exist. Like
it
the
doesn't.
word for that doesn't exist in English. So I imagine how limited you must feel trying to get like what's in your soul out in a language that's second to you. But you do such a great job. So you should be
I
proud.
I try. I get criticism too from time to time. People would say like, "Oh, I don't understand your accent," and I'm like,
I love your accent. I think it's beautiful. My Siri has this accent. I think it's such a beautiful sing song. I also watch Bollywood a lot. I just think your culture is beautiful.
I mean,
So
that is one more thing I would want to say it out into public. Like people just discovered Daljit Dosanjh on Jimmy Fallon show.
yes,
You guys should go and look at Daljit
go back.
Dosanjh. Like had a song came out in 2024. Pitbull sang it with him. Like I don't know. Like I mean, I know you guys are finding out that maybe brown people are hot too, but I mean, we are so stereotyped
Oh,
in a
they're
way.
hot.
I
They're
mean,
real
yeah,
hot.
it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, but people are like so stereotyped here in a way that it's like I feel bad, like
Yeah.
we again we don't own Usha Vance. She is we don't. I don't take any responsibility for her and that other guy with that eyeballs.
Cash Patel. He looks scared all the time.
Yeah, and I mean, the only person I would say is, like Zoran Mamdani's mom. She is very celebrated filmmaker from India. So,
Yes.
like, I actually didn't even know that he was her son, like, because he never brought it up in his entire like
Well, I loved it.
campaign thing.
There was no nepo to it because his
Yeah,
father's a celebrated author as well.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and his I'm a big fan of his mom's work. Like every single movie I've watched it, like that's so good.
Mhm.
And I was like, how did I not know that she had a son and that
I love that he did that though. It
yeah,
felt like he did it on his own.
exactly. So that is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, you know, that we even have that contrast. Like we have Zohran Mamdani and we have
I love him so much.
Kashyap Patel. They're both in fact from Uganda. Like they were both Ugandan Indians who, migrated to US because of the
Yeah.
issue, right?
Yep.
And look at the contrast. Like this is like
Yes.
really, really, anyways, and the other part is like I don't know if you see that, but what we see in New York is the preview of what's to come for the entire US.
Yes, I agree. I believe that Mamdani is so back up a little bit. If you look at his chart, he has some placements. I'm actually writing about this right now that show him to be what I believe to be the true leader of the new progressive Democratic Party. And I think that you're seeing Hakeem Jeffries and you're seeing Chuck Schumer, who are a dying breeds. You're seeing them, they were kind of pushing him away. And I think they're starting to get the picture. They're starting
Yeah.
to understand they're going to need to accept him. I believe what you're going to see from what you're seeing from Mamdani is what you will see in 2032 and beyond. Like we're working our way towards that. And so if you guys ever get sad or you guys ever get depressed or you guys ever get scared, I want you to imagine Mamdani as president. Can he be president? No. Is that sad? Yes. But we will have someone very similar to him in office. Kind of the way I look at it is our FDR.
Yeah, yeah.
We
And
have
it
our
has to
FDRs
be,
coming.
and that is what, in fact, the Uranus and Gemini transits into, like, we brought in FDR,
Yeah,
like for so many years. And
exactly.
that's when we had all of these progresses, right? So I also think that when I think about that, and that will be the prime time my son would be growing up during this,
Yes.
it makes me so giddy thinking about it. It's like, okay, all of these painstaking process is so worth it because we need that
Yeah.
time when like I want to see him like flourish in that time, so it will be
Well,
worth.
we live in a country, we live in the richest country in the world, that's not offering free healthcare, it's not offering free tuition, it's not offering anything that these other very successful countries around the world are doing. And
Yeah.
we are coming to that. We are coming to that. Anna, I want you to come. I know you just got in here. We talked about all the way up from today until 2032. So make sure you rewatch this because we did break that down. And I will have an article coming out for you too, darling.
Awesome. um Closing, it's almost like up on top of the hours. I don't want to hold you for that long, so
Okay.
if I didn't get to all of your questions, guys, I will try to answer them. Gray will also try to answer them. I'm going to upload this on my YouTube channel as well, which I'm trying to kind of grow at this point, but I have
Me
no
too. I love that.
and I have no intention of doing like real professional YouTube videos. So this would
Me
be like
neither.
this.
I just upload whatever I do here goes there.
Yeah, it's like it's if you guys can hype that video on YouTube would be great. That gives YouTube a signal that this is interesting content.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's fine. I mean, Substack is my primary place where I am doing all my content. So I will bring her back again,
Yes.
and
Of course.
and we might even do me, her, and Jenny might even do like a trio episode as
A
well. I just
three-way. That'd be so amazing. I would love that. Absolutely.
I know. All right. Thank you guys for joining,
Thank
and
you.
I'll see you guys again later. And
Bye, Broom. Thank
take
you.
take good care of yourself, everybody, and
Oh,
eyes on
also,
the
if
prize.
you guys have questions, she's gonna post the video. Under the video, write the questions, and then Broom and I will go back and answer some for you, like on physically answer questions. Sound
And
good?
I will also link all the articles that we talked about, the
Yeah.
relevant ones. If you haven't seen them, just that's your chance to go look at them.
Yay. All
Awesome.
right. Thanks,
All
guys.
right. Thank you guys, and take good care of yourself. Okay. Like,
Bye.
bye.